The last light. The world was a cold, dark place, and the only light Lumen knew came from the glowing, translucent wings on her back. A heavy iron chain, a cold blue spotlight, and the humming of strange machines were her only companions. Thick, mechanical tubes were connected to her head, a constant reminder of her captivity. She strained against the chain, her body tense, with a yearning for a world she could only imagine. The chain held fast, a symbol of her captivity. She pulled and pulled until her muscles ached, and the metal links scraped against the floor with a mournful sound. The more she struggled, the more the despair grew, a heavy weight in her heart that felt even heavier than the chain. She looked up at the thick, mechanical tubes that were connected to her head. They were a part of her now, feeding her with data and dreams that were not her own. They were the source of her power, but also the source of her prison. She felt the weight of the machines above her, a silent, unblinking eye. Then, a memory, sharp and clear, flashed in her mind. A memory of flying free, of the sun on her wings, of the wind in her hair. It was a memory she had never had before, a dream of a world she had never seen. It gave her a renewed sense of purpose, a flicker of hope in the darkness. She realized her true power wasn't in the wings themselves, but in the light she could create. She closed her eyes and focused, not on breaking the chain, but on making the wings glow brighter. She poured all her hope, all her will, into that single act of defiance. The light from her wings grew and grew until it filled the entire room. The tubes connected to her head flickered and sparked, unable to contain the energy. The machines above her began to hum and whine, their cold mechanical hearts failing under the pressure of her brilliant light. With a final surge of will, she sent a pulse of energy through the tubes. The machines above her exploded in a shower of sparks and smoke. The chain on her leg, unable to contain the force of her will, snapped and fell away with a clatter. She was free. She stood alone in the now darkened lab, the only light coming from her wings. The silence was deafening, but it was the sound of her own freedom. She took a tentative step, her feet on the cold floor, her heart filled with a quiet determination. She found a door at the end of the lab and pushed it open. A blinding, warm light flooded the room. It was the light of the sun and the fresh air of a world she had only dreamed of. It was a world of green and blue, of warmth and life. She stepped out, her feet on soft grass for the first time. She spread her wings, not to fly away, but to feel the warmth of the sun on them. She was no longer a captive, no longer a subject of an experiment. She was Lumen, and she was free.